Another update on my looking for my father. Just to give you background information is that all my life, my mother kept a big secret from me as to who my father was. She had this story about how he was a distant relative and that she married him and that she had me, and he died in a car crash when I was 6 months when she was 6 months pregnant with me. And so, because he was a distant relative, she had I had the same last name as her. Anyway, it turns out this is all a lie. And on my birth certificate, my mother is listed as a spinster, which means unmarried, and father unknown. So she never told anyone, including me, who he was. She took this secret to her grave, unfortunately. She never, ever would tell me. She maintained it all her life, the story that she told me about being married. So, in October of 2018, I decided that I would try DNA. I'd heard a lot about people finding relatives on DNA, so I thought I would try this. I did, and when my DNA came back, unfortunately, I didn't have any close relatives. There's sort of third and fourth cousins, which means that there's a lot of names to go through to find out where you are. And it was just a sea of names, and I just couldn't make any sense of it. So I uploaded to GEDmatch, which is a DNA sharing site, and I did get a second cousin match. A lady who had quite a lot of DNA shared with me. So I contacted her. Turned out that she was also looking for her father. And we did a little bit of digging, and we eventually worked out, after 2 or 3 months, that her father was my great uncle. Wasn't that amazing? She was so happy. And she found 4 half-sisters she never knew anything about. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, well, that still left me with no idea who my father was. Because that was all matched on my mother's side. And I knew basically pretty much everybody there. So I decided to do another DNA test with Ancestry. My first one was with MyHeritage, and the second one was with My Ancestry. So I did this, and my results came through just about a couple of weeks ago. And lo and behold, a first cousin match. Wow. Anyway, with trepidation, it was a lady, and I contacted her. She was just blown away with the news. And with a little bit of digging and some names of ancestors and relatives, we figured out that I was matched with her mother's side, because I had some second and third cousins, third and fourth cousins, matched on her mother's side. So my father had to be one of her uncles, one of her mother's brothers. So her mom only had 3 brothers. Now we had to narrow it down. Now we think that we've narrowed it down, and so first candidate was a 16-year-old boy. He would have been 16 when I was conceived, so not very likely. Second candidate would be 20. My mom would have been 21, so 20 could be. But this uncle was already married and had a child on the way. He also lived and worked quite a distance from where my mother lived. Now, third candidate is who we think that my father is. This man would have been 23 at the time. My mum would be 21. My mom worked as a legal secretary in downtown Toronto, Canada. And guess what? He worked as an accountant in downtown Toronto, Canada. Highly likely that their paths crossed. Now I'll never know why they didn't get together. This man passed away in the early 90s, so I'll never know. Never know what happened, whether he knew, whether he didn't know. I don't know. Certainly the family never knew. Anyway, I'm going to. We have a photograph. This first cousin sent me a photograph of this man. He would have been about 10 years older than when he conceived, but have a look. This is the man who I think is my father. Amazing. Just amazing to find out. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster, really, emotionally, to see him. This first cousin of mine has been very, very kind. She told me a lot about him, and she sent some more pictures. Anyway, that's my update. Talk to you later if we find out anything more. Oh, by the way, this man never married and never had any children, so no half-sisters or brothers. Oh well.